Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the next 6 months. It is that time of year again, if you can believe it. But you have this turtle spirit. It says slow and steady wins the race. You have this rabbit spirit. It says now is a lucky time. Yes, it is. Jupiter is entering into your sign in the middle of June, so it is a very lucky time for you, Cancer. You could be getting a lot of benefits and luck from that energy. And that'll be a good thing, of course. There could be a lot of improvements coming into your life as well. So I like it. Definitely very good. In your current general energies for the rest of the year, you have the Queen of Wands, the Justice card, and the Empress. Queen of Wands is about like needing to be bold, assertive, confident, needing to go for what you want. Pisces had the same card in exactly the same position. I have a feeling that Scorpio will also probably have the same card. I would say that it's Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter in Cancer for you is going to be all about expansion, but it's true for all water signs because you trine the other two water signs. So I think all water signs for the next 18 months need to be bold, assertive, confident. Need to expand. You need to take up more space, be more brave, bold, assertive, all those things we talked about, because that's where your success will come from. It's a very successful reading. Again, this second half of the year is definitely more positive than the first half, and there's a lot of good stuff going on. So, I think that there could be a lot of positivity. She moves towards the sun, so she moves towards things that make her happy or bring her joy. If I were a Cancer, I would definitely be focusing on that, especially with Jupiter in your sign. Now, there's like one little hiccup, which is in June, on like June 18th or whatever it is, we have Neptune squaring Jupiter, which could be a little tricky. I don't think it's bad. I just think that Neptune square Jupiter could be asking Cancer, like, do you really want this? Something in your life. There could be something that you are being questioned on. Like, do you really want this by the universe? And I can't answer that question for you, but just know that at that time, you will be asked that question. You have the Justice card. Yeah, more balance. It's like a nicer energy to the rest of the year. In some ways, I think this is very simple. I think that there's just like a nicer flow to the year, just a nicer general energy in general, more balance. I do think the Justice card is asking you to pay attention to evidence. I really feel that Pluto and Aquarius energy, Pluto's retrograde right now. And, I don't know. There's something about Pluto and Aquarius that's like saying, trust the evidence. And there's one more thing as well, Neptune and Aries. The thing with Neptune and Aries is we can blindly accept things. Neptune and Aries is like looking for a savior. And so if we think we find a person or, a book or information that we think has the answers for us, we probably should look closer. And it's not that the information is wrong, but really I think that Pluto and Aquarius is like, a lot of people say it's the collective, but I really think it's about independence because it's like saying don't become a part of the hive mind. And then Neptune and Aries is more about having confidence in what you believe. And really we see that right here with the Queen of Wands. She has this black cat here, and the black cat during the times of tarot were considered very unlucky. But the whole point of the card is that she just likes the black cat. She just wants to have her cat, and she doesn't care what people think. So having that type of attitude and looking at the facts is going to be important over the next 6 months. Probably a little bit longer, really. You have the Empress, which is great, for the next 6 months. You are in Empress mode, which is amazing. Could be creating a lot of abundance. Could be very attractive at this time, Cancer. So if you're looking for love or anything, get out there. But she can attract anything. This can be about being attractive at work. Maybe you're doing a really good job, and maybe you need to speak up more so that you can stand out and get a raise or promotion, or so that you can, attract the attention of your boss, or whatever the case may be. So, this could be any type of attention. The other nice thing about the Empress is she represents ease. All she has to do is wave that scepter in front of her, and that wheat in front of her will grow. So she's not struggling to get anything to work, right? She just has to wave the scepter, and the wheat grows. So I think for a lot of you, this could say that I don't think things are meant to be easy right now, but, things could be getting easier, or you could be noticing that you're able to accomplish things in like a little bit smoother, and of course that would be a good thing. So let's see. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Death card. Definitely a lot of changes. I mean, Jupiter changing sign into your sign is going to be a big change just in general. I like the Death card because we have the two pillars here in the background from the moon, and the sun is coming up between those two pillars. So a lot of you could be getting a lot of clarity on things that you've been through, and you could be getting a lot of clarity on the future as well. The Empress is kind of futuristic. She has this planchette right here, like from a Ouija board, and so she is kind of intuitive, and she uses her intuition to make change. With the Justice card, you have the Lovers. Yeah, you have the Page of Cups as well. It's a great time for love for water signs, so, the whole summer. So if you want love, definitely would be a good time to get out there. The Empress is very clear. She finds love through attention. Obviously, if you want love, you have to get attention. So, I think that the Lovers could be love coming in for you. The funny thing about the Justice card is that it could be you deciding whether or not you want love. You could be saying to yourself, like, maybe I do, maybe I don't. I think this is very true for water signs right now. It's really funny. My brother's girlfriend was visiting a couple weeks ago, or last week, or whatever it was, right? And it's like she was just like here, like in my space, and I realized she's not my girlfriend, so it's not like that big of a deal. But I was like, do I really want someone invading my personal space? Like, I don't know. It's popping into my head for you, Cancer, where it's like you could be thinking that. It's like maybe you've developed a certain routine or a certain way of doing things, and it's like if you have a person in your space, it's kind of like so I don't know. I think you could be thinking about it, right? Like I was. And really the trick is, if you do want love, is to find a person where you don't mind, is to find a person who really is independent, or like you with that Queen of Wands. And I think you could be asking those questions. With the Empress, you have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. So again, if you're attracting love, could be I'll say this. I really like the Three of Pentacles for love, because these are two people who have a common goal. Or there's three people here, but as far as a couple is concerned, it would be like two people who want to work towards the same thing. And so you could be attracting a person like that. Three of Pentacles is also amazing for getting credit on your work. And with the Empress, definitely something I would focus on if I were you is getting more credit on the work that you do. That could be putting it on display, like showing it off to the world. It could be bragging about it. I always say if you got it, flaunt it, right? There's nothing wrong with bragging about something if you did a good job. And the Three of Pentacles is quality work. So I kind of feel it's time for you to speak up and put your things out into the world over the next 6 months. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you over the next 6 months, you have this Lighthouse card. It says, you're a light that can't be hidden, so don't ever try to dim it for anyone. You have this Orbiting Space card. It says, something or someone is orbiting you, wanting to make its presence known. Page of Cups. So, number one, it's definitely time for you to shine, because you have that Empress energy. But number two, there clearly could be a person in your space already, or could be a person who's trying to creep their way into your space, and I don't know, it looks good. You have the Page of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. Page of Cups can definitely be a love offer. So if you're looking for a person, this could be a person, could be any sign, could be a water sign, but I always say that, to me, the Page of Cups could be just any sign. It's like a general admirer energy, so, this could just be a general admirer that's coming in for you. The Page of Cups could also just be your dream. And I do feel like this reading isn't all about love. It's kind of like 50-50. And he has this fish in this cup. I always say that he needs to bring that fish down to earth and make it happen. And so I think it's time for you to really make your dream in life happen with the Page of Cups, and to kind of make your vision for your life happen as well. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness. I kind of feel like you're increasing your resources. Again, it's a very lucky time for money for water signs, I believe. So, I would do whatever you can to improve your finances. And in about 18 months-ish, Jupiter is going to move into your second house. So, but I would get started now. I always tell people astrology is a wave that you can catch early. So if you do things to expand your work, to show off your work with the Three of Pentacles and the Empress, not only will you get benefits right now, but you will get bigger benefits 18 months from now. and again, for 18 months, and then after as well. So it's like you're building energy ahead of the wave. And I feel, for whatever reason, I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is saying, the more energy you can build ahead of these waves, the better. And I would just take advantage of it. You have the Queen of Pentacles. I don't know. I think you've been thinking about something for too long, really, with the, Knight of Pentacles. I think that the Knight of Pentacles, he's the only knight in the tarot that is overthinking a move. He is the only knight in the tarot that isn't moving, and all he has to do is plant seeds behind him in these fields, and they will grow. So it's like everything that, it's like everything you need to do on something, and I feel like you just have to do it with the Knight of Pentacles. This could be your dream with the Page of Cups right here. Part of the challenge could be the Two of Swords or the Seven of Swords. Two of Swords could say there's another way of doing things. Seven of Swords says there's definitely another way of doing things. So maybe you need to be more tactical, or maybe you need to look for other ways of doing things here. With the Page of Cups, you have the Page of Pentacles. This could be communication. Usually I find that the Page of Pentacles starts a connection with communication or just talking at first. So there's no rush, right? You do have the Chariot right next to it, and the Chariot kind of says things probably will take off very quickly, but, definitely could be, communication. Page of Pentacles can also be good news coming in. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Devil. Could be a Capricorn. You have the Queen of Pentacles and the Devil. Both cards can be Capricorn. The Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. The Devil is Saturn in Capricorn, but, the Devil could also be a Capricorn coming in for you, which is your opposite sign. This could also say, I will say this. With Saturn going into Aries, discipline obviously is going to be very important. Personally, I don't look at the Devil as a bad card unless you are dealing with something toxic. So, obviously we have the Death card to the Devil to the Seven of Swords. This would say be careful of past toxic energy, of course, but just like in general in the reading, I think that he is talking about having discipline over the next 6 months, and, that's what I would do. Knight of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Swords. It's like the more you think about something, the worse it's going to get, is what this really says. It's like, I think that's always true. It's like thinking about doing something is always worse than just doing it. And, that's basically what this is saying, is like you're overthinking something, or you're just going round and round and round about starting something or doing something, and it would be so much easier if you would just do it, And like I said, I know that's easier said than done, but I do think it's time to take action with these two cards. And, the thing about the Nine of Swords is that he's in a nightmare. He's had a nightmare. He's woken up. He's stuck in a nightmare. But he has kind of created his own nightmare. So he can easily get out of the nightmare by making a decision. And it's like we go up to the Six of Wands. It's like whatever you're overthinking here, Cancer, I think that you will be very happy that you did something, obviously, whatever you're overthinking. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Stillness card and this Taking Risks card. Every single reading I do for you has something about taking a risk or putting yourself out there. It's almost like to soar to new heights. That's what you have to do. The Stillness card is, kind of about being in stillness, listening to your inner voice. And, I think all that, listening to your inner voice, of course, would be a good thing. Taking time to meditate, taking time to listen to yourself and what you really want, and getting clear on that with the Justice card showing up here. Justice is justice. Justice is cause and effect. But, really I feel for you, Cancer, that justice is about taking a cold, hard look at your life from a neutral perspective. That means that you're not putting anyone else's BS on what you want out of life. And you're just saying, what do I really want? And I think that would be the best thing for you here, Cancer. You have the Chariot, the Two of Swords, and then the Seven of Swords. The Chariot is like a victory or a big win coming in for you. So there could be a victory or a big win coming in for you at this time with the Chariot card. The Chariot is charging away from the city behind him. And, this is kind of like a card of setting your own path. And, I kind of feel that's going to be a big theme for you, especially with Jupiter in your sign, is that you could really be charging forward on your own path, or it's like you're carving your own path is really what I wanted to say in life. And this could be leading to victories. I mean, we have the Chariot and the Six of Wands. Both cards represent victories, achievement, success, getting recognition as well, which, with the Empress and the Three of Pentacles, that's all about getting the recognition you deserve for the things that you do. And so a lot of you really could be standing out over this next 6 months. You have the Two of Swords. I don't know. I feel like you always get this card with me, Cancer. I feel like I'm always saying that, what you think is going to happen is not going to happen, which is probably actually a good thing with the Two of Swords. She's thinking this or that, but really there's this new island behind her that she needs to open up to. So, whatever you're thinking about doing in your life, I would just be like, don't attach too much to the outcome, because things might go in a better direction if you're just flexible, if you just allow things to happen, or if you just kind of get more in that go with the flow type of energy. I think that would be very helpful with this card. This is also a card of needing to trust your intuition, and with the Nine of Swords, I think sometimes like this right here could say that you are questioning your intuition too much. It's it's almost like the universe is tapping its foot and saying like, how many more signs do I need to send Cancer before they actually do what I'm guiding them to do? And so I don't know, how many more, Cancer? You have the Seven of Swords. I would be careful of any like past liar, cheater, stealers. And again, with the Devil and the Seven of Swords, if you're meeting any new people and they just seem like a liar, then obviously I would not be with that person. I would not spend time with that person. And it doesn't even have to be in love. This could be in work, business. It could be someone who wants to team up with you or whatever. I would be very picky, choosy about who you spend time with those two cards, the Devil and the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords can represent taking something too seriously. He has these polka dots on his cloak, and the polka dots in the tarot represent needing to be more playful and needing to not take things too seriously. So, I do think being more playful, having more fun, not taking things too seriously will be very helpful for you. With the Chariot, you have the Four of Cups. Four of Cups this is that Jupiter square Neptune, I think, going on here, because Pisces have the same card, and I bet Scorpio will get this card as well. The Four of Cups, he's been disappointed 3 times before, and now he's getting a new offer, but he's not accepting it because he's been disappointed 3 times before. But he needs to realize that this isn't necessarily going to be a disappointment. If he applies what he has learned from past situations to this new situation, things will go much better. So he needs to kind of like realize that he has learned what he needs to learn. And in your situation, we have the Chariot, which is saying that you need to realize that you've learned enough to carve your own path, and that's what I would be doing. With the Two of Swords, you have the Chariot. Time to go here, Cancer. It's like time for you to move with that Two of Swords. She's been sitting there too long. Her ass hurts on this card. She's been sitting on this like marble bench for too long. It's meant to look like something hard. She's uncomfortable. Her ass hurts, like I said. And so it's time for you to like make your move here, Cancer, which I've been saying to you for months now. And that's what I would do. I think you're making a lot of big moves, this year. Like I said, in the next 18 months with Jupiter in your sign, you are going to be asked to make big moves, to put yourself out there in a bigger way, to take up more space, to get more attention, and all that other stuff. So, it's pretty simple. That's what I would be doing. With the Seven of Swords, sure, you have 2 cards. You have the Six of Cups and the Four of Swords. Yes, I would be careful of the past, like I already said. With the Death card, the Devil, and the Seven of Swords, with that Six of Cups as well, I would avoid anyone coming back from the past. Now, I will say that, to me, the Six of Cups just represents thinking about the past. It represents innocence and nostalgia. So I would be careful of, thinking about the past too much. Or, I would be careful if you are meeting a new person this year of applying, things that happened to you in the past to a new person, because you could be attracting something that's very different. The Four of Swords is also resting, relaxing, recovering. It makes perfect sense that with Jupiter in your sign, there would be more resting, relaxing, recovering time. I think that's going to be true for everyone with Jupiter in Cancer, is that people will be able to nurture themselves better. Cancer energy is being expanded. So, again, I think pretty much everyone will be, resting, relaxing, or getting moments to go on vacation or take a break or take a staycation, things like that. So, again, that makes perfect sense. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this unworthy card. It says, do you genuinely believe in your worthiness to attain the abundance you desire? You have this passive income. It says the best money is made while you sleep. Hell yeah, Cancer. The best money is sleep money, for sure. This is when we get to that place where we have FU money, right? So I think a lot of you, you could be coming up with ideas to build passive income. I think a lot of people will in the age of AI, right, with the robots taking over. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a very common theme for people, that they're going to be discovering ways to make money with their genius or with their ideas. So if you have those ideas, I would take advantage of them. I do think you need to say you are enough, which I've said to you in the past. It's coming up in the good stuff, though, so you might be finally believing that you are worth something that you want. You have the Six of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. Love it. I love two sixes. You know, two sixes is confirmation for your path, or it's confirmation for the journey that you're on. So I love two sixes. Six of Wands also would represent finally getting recognition for the things that you're doing, as we already said. You know, he's being celebrated from these people around him, and they're celebrating his victory. So, you know, a lot of you could be celebrating a victory or celebrating some sort of win, or probably multiple wins. You have the Six of Pentacles. I don't know. I just get this feeling that you are going to be very happy that you invested in something is kind of what's popping into my head. Six of Pentacles is kind of like an investment of something. You know, he is giving to one person, not the other, but he could be investing. It doesn't have to be money. It could be time, effort, attention, money. It could be spirituality. It could be anything, any type of energy you could possibly imagine. But again, if you're thinking of starting something or investing into something, again, it could be with time, effort, attention, money, whatever. I think that you will be happy that you did. No blind investments at this time. You know, Uranus will be moving into Gemini, but I don't care. We've had Uranus and Taurus. Since Uranus went into Taurus, I've been warning people about everything, crypto scams, like all that stuff, because Uranus and Taurus does not like get rich quick. So if your cousin comes to you and tells you, oh, invest in this new coin, the answer needs to be no, especially if you're not doing your research, because you will get burned. And I mean, just look at the news over the past several years with Uranus and Taurus. There were so many scams, so many different things, you know, all that other stuff. So Uranus, as it's not very popular, but Uranus and Taurus is get rich slow. And even though it's moving into Gemini, doesn't matter. We still have to pay attention to those rules, those things that we learned. So no blind investments. If you're going to give energy into something, you need to research it. This includes a person, right? If you are going to invest time with a person, do they invest in you, right? It's like, it's pretty easy to tell right away. You know, it's like if you text a person, do they text you back, or do they make you wait 48 hours or one of the stupid rules that exists, right? Or, you know, are they giving you attention, or are they reciprocating, right? And if the answer is yes, then great. There's your proof that they're going to invest. If they don't, then don't, right? Plain and simple. You have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is normally disappointments, but in the good stuff, it could say that you are finally turning around and finding fulfillment. You know, he needs to turn around so he can get this bridge and this castle as well on the card. So a lot of you could be increasing fulfillment or finding fulfillment in your life with the Five of Cups, which is great. With the Six of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is about seeing things clearly for the first time. And so I think a lot of you could be kind of like seeing, it's almost like you're seeing into the future clearly for the first time, or something like that is popping into my head. So I do like that. You know, the other thing is motivation with the Six of Wands. Sometimes I think that the Six of Wands is something maybe a little bit small, where people pat us on the back and we're like, you know, maybe I could do this thing with my life. I don't really have a good example for you, but it's like if you're trying anything over the next 6 months, maybe people come to you and they're like, hey, you're a natural at doing this activity or doing this business or whatever. And like that motivation could be like creating something new in the future. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the King of Swords. Yes, I don't know. I'm like, it's coming up in the good stuff, but I'm still not a big fan of the King and Queen of Swords. They're divine counterparts, but they're not seeing eye to eye. So again, if you have your eye on a person, or if you're looking for love, you know, I would really make this happen, because it just looks like two quiet people to me, which could be a good thing if you get it going, but it will be a bad thing if you don't. With the Five of Cups, you have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, quick success here. You know, Eight of Wands represents like quick success, quick conclusions, things happening quickly in your life. So I think that there could be a lot of forward movement coming in for you at this time, so that's good. You have these two cards wanting to come out together. You have this Teardrops card that says great personal sorrow. You have this Fox card that says shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. I think some of you have to let go of the past with the Death card, Devil, Seven of Swords. So maybe something really hurt you in the past, and maybe you have to be tactical to remove yourself from that situation. You have this September card and this Torch card. It says spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. So between now and September, over the next 6 months, you could be developing spiritually quite a bit. And of course, that would be a good thing. You have this Hat card. It says you will be playing a different role. Hell yes, Cancer. Six of Wands, Queen of Swords. It's like you are looking forward into the future. I think that you could be discovering something that you're good at, like a skill that could make you money. It could even be a side hustle, like this passive income card says. The best money is made while you sleep. So you could be discovering something that makes you money while you sleep, and that could be your new role. And of course, that would be a good thing. You have this hand card that says in need of help, assistance, or guidance. And so, yeah, if you need help, I would definitely reach out or, ask people for help or guidance. You have this broken ring. It says parting of the ways, either in romance or business. So if you have a liar, cheater, stealer, you could be walking away from that person. But I think that for a lot of you, this is talking about a change in general because of the Chariot twice. He is leaving behind the city behind. He's charging forward in a new direction. And so this whole entire reading, really, I think this reading is just saying you're carving a new path in your life. You're charging forward towards new things, which is great. It's going to be very good for you. So love it. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy the rest of the year.